Hi folks, Lee here and welcome back to the channel. So, having another wee go at making a travel vlog. Last one I done was just over a year ago when I went with my pal to Disneyland in Paris. Making another one cause I've got a wee cruise booked. So basically I've booked a DFDS mini cruise from Newcastle to Amsterdam. And it's something I've kind of wanted to do for a few years now. A friend told me about it a few years ago. Um, and I've always been interested in the idea of kind of getting into doing a bit of cruising. Um, and, you know, with these kind of things, I think that you always want to kind of start off small. I wouldn't want to go and book a big 2 week cruise and, you know, maybe I end up hating it. So I thought, like, you know, I'll start off small, and this is kind of the smallest cruise you can get, really. If you can even call it that. It's some people would say it's more of an overnight ferry because that's what it is. It's a ferry, but they do this kind of package thing called a mini cruise where uh, you get in the ferry at Newcastle overnight. It takes you to a port that I'm not even going to try and pronounce because obviously it's in the Netherlands. It's a name that, as I said, I'm not even going to try it. I'll put it on the screen. Um, and then you get a bus that takes you into Amsterdam. You get a few hours there to walk about and see the sights, and then you get back in the bus, and then it takes you back to the ferry, and you know you do the whole thing over again, just the other way. So you get 2 nights on the boat, and so yeah, it should be pretty good. It should be pretty good fun. It's nice to, it'll be nice to tick another country off the list. Which I've not been to many of them, but it should be interesting. Hopefully it'll be a good adventure. I'm filming this the day before just because I find that when I'm trying to, you know, get away in the first day, and it's a bit of a rush, and I always like to try and do this sort of video just to explain kind of like what I'm doing. But I find that I've been away a couple of places recently. Like obviously I went to Blackpool, I went to Edinburgh for a night for that running thing that I was talking about in my New Year video, and I wanted to try and do a travel vlog then, but as I says, it got to the day and it was just a bit of a rush, so I thought I'll do this, and that means that at least I've got my intro. So this is kind of like the day zero, I suppose. But yeah, and the other thing that was really cool was I got it for pretty cheap. I actually literally just booked it on Tuesday, so, well, last Tuesday, because they were doing 50% off deals, and I've seen some of them that were like £100, down for 200, mind you. And I thought, well, that's not bad, you know, 2 nights away, you get your transport, you know, you're going over somewhere on a boat and back. I thought that's pretty cool. But then last Tuesday when I was looking, I saw this one for tomorrow, and it's £51. So I thought, like, nope, I'm booking that because it's never going to get cheaper than that. So I thought, you know, I'm just going to go for it. So yeah, but yeah, hopefully it'll be really good, and hopefully it'll be a good adventure. So yep. So day one begins. So we've just got on the train from Irvine and now we're in Glasgow. Got Buchanan bus station behind me where we'll be getting the Megabus to Newcastle, and then we'll be getting a transfer from Newcastle to the port, and then we'll be getting the boat. So yeah, should be good. So that was me on the Megabus to Newcastle. It took me through Glasgow and then Edinburgh and then Dunbar and then finally Newcastle. We got some good views of the coast and got some good views of the way there. It was alright. I mean, I've been in bus journeys that have been genuinely like really scenic, and I wouldn't necessarily say it was the best bus journey that I've been on. But then again, it's one of those ones where I really just booked the Megabus because I don't know, I often find it to be like the simplest option. I've had problems kind of booking trains in the past, so I don't know, I always find the Megabus, you kind of know what you're getting. So yeah, it was all right. It took me through Edinburgh, got some good views there. And then a lot of the rest of the route was near the coast, so you got some good views of that. It was pretty good overall. It was a little long, it was about 4 hours. It's not the absolute longest bus journey that I've done. But yeah, it was all right. So yeah, I tried to get quite a few clips of, the kind of route that I took. The window was a little bit dirty, as you might notice, but I kind of only managed to get video of kind of the first 2/3, because surprisingly enough, as we got kind of near Newcastle, it got really foggy. But then when we actually got into the city itself, it wasn't too bad. There was a wee bit of kind of snow or sleet as well. So yeah, overall, not bad. And then there's the coast there, and that's kind of when I started to get kind of really like excited about the whole thing. So yeah, and I pretty much had the bottom floor to myself, really. So that was quite unusual, to be honest. It's probably the first time I've been in a Megabus that isn't like packed, so although mind you, I've only been on it a couple of times. But yeah, so some good views here. That was probably my favourite part, was the coast. And then we're in Newcastle, so yeah, time to go and get my coach to the ferry terminal. So that's us in Newcastle. So yeah, didn't film much of the kind of like last bit of the bus journey because it was actually quite foggy in the way here, but and it's not amazing looking just now, but I suppose you always take that chance. You're going away somewhere in January, so that the weather's going to be a wee bit not great. But next thing we need to do is catch the coach that takes us to the port, and then hopefully I'll get back to you there. So then I got on the coach that was taking us to North Shields, to the port where we would get the boat, obviously. Got a few views of going through Newcastle. It only took maybe about 20-25 minutes to get from the city centre to the port. And yeah, got a few views. I'll probably be seeing more in Newcastle on the day I go back, which is Thursday. We'll probably do a bit more exploring in Newcastle, but yeah, and then you've got the boat there, and you're getting excited. So yeah, it all kind of went pretty fast once we got off the bus, so I didn't really get any footage of kind of up closer to the boat or anything like that, because you don't really see the boat going on. It's not like you've got like a gangway or anything. It's more of kind of like getting on board a plane. And then I got a final view of some of the models here, so yeah. So that is us on board the ship, and we are now in the cabin. I wanted to get a bit more video of actually coming on board, but obviously just because it is like going across to another country, it's obviously a wee bit more complicated than what I'm normally used to getting onto a ferry, so just kind of got all that by with, and yeah, now we're in our cabin and on the ship. And I mean, I've only been on it for like literally 2 or 3 minutes, but I can just tell that like this is just a whole other deal, like in terms of like what I've kind of, you know, been on like with ferries and stuff before, you know. Yeah, I'm pretty excited, to be honest. It looks really cool, and I'm really kind of buzzing almost to just get around and have a look at everything. I've actually got a wee passenger safety notice there, and you've got a wee layout of the ship. It's a pretty small cabin, but like it's really nice and clean, you know that. And this is the thing, like I've been in a couple of kind of wee trips over the past few months, and I always go for like the kind of most basic cheap single room that I can get, and but even then, like it's generally been in the kind of like 30-40 quid range for like a night. And when I think about it, like like I get what I ask for, if you know what I mean, but like there's always that kind of single room in some hotels that I feel like they kind of just like, it's just there, like it's cheap, you get what you pay for, but this is actually pretty nice. And let's see, you'll probably, if you're, there we go, there we go, a wee shower on that as well. And that's pretty, like, it's pretty nice actually. It's kind of a bit more than I was expecting actually, to be honest, even though it is pretty small. But I'm paying £51 for this cruise, which I've already mentioned a couple of times at the start of the video, but I mean that's for 2 nights on a ship, you know. And I mean, don't get me wrong, when you like, there's stuff like bus transfers and that I've added on and stuff like that, which kind of bring it up to like more like 80 quid, but I mean still, for 2 nights away, you know, in a mini cruise, like it's a pretty good deal in my opinion. But we'll just need to see how it goes. Obviously it's an inside cabin, so I don't have any windows or anything like that, which I suppose we'll see tonight whether that was a mistake, but because I've literally never slept on a boat before, so you know, that's kind of part of why I wanted to do this, was just to kind of get a small cruise, to kind of just try it out really. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest. So yeah, let's go and have a wee look around the ship. So after I got the cabin sorted out, I went a wee stroll around the ship to see what I could see. A lot of posters around, a lot of models, a lot of stuff that would really be appealing to like the ship enthusiast, as well as, you know, like the casual cruiser, which is quite nice. I quite appreciate that. Some of the posters are in Dutch, of course, so I can't read them. Or are they even in Dutch? I don't know, because I can't read it. But yeah, some pretty impressive models. The only thing that was kind of letting us down was the view outside was a little bit grey, a little bit grim. But again, it was getting later on, and it's the night is early, so in January, so yeah, can't really blame the weather. But more models here, and again, lots of posters, lots of kind of illustrations in the wall, and then you also see like they've got, because during the summer they run whale watching cruises, where they have kind of wildlife experts for a group called Orca on, and they've got some posters as well. They've got this map, which I think is kind of showing you where all the kind of sightings take place. So yeah, and you'll see the posters of all the different kind of sea life as well. If you're interested in that, it's certainly quite interesting. although I don't think we'll be seeing too much of it in January. And then the other kind of neat concept that you'll see coming up is I've got these things called mini cards, which is like, it's kind of like mini leaflets of kind of different things to do in Amsterdam and in Holland, which is pretty cool. I picked up one of them, and you know, it allows you to kind of have a wee quick look and see kind of maybe what you'd like to do when you get there if you haven't necessarily got anything planned. So it's pretty cool. And you've got plenty of diagrams of the ship as well, just so that you know where you're going, because it is a giant ship, or at least it's a lot bigger than anything I've been on. So yeah, that's the mini cards there. Pretty cool concept. It saves the whole kind of having big giant leaflets, I suppose, and it means that you can, you know, have a look on board and see what you might want to do once you get to Amsterdam. So yeah, and then a final view outside again, not the best at the moment, so yeah. So just a quick wee update. So I've been back in my cabin, just kind of editing videos, editing the videos that I'm going to be doing of this, and I can definitely now feel that we're underway. So I don't have a window, but I can definitely feel it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So I'm laughing now, but you know, maybe later on I won't be, but we'll see how it goes. Should be interesting. I haven't booked any meals or anything on board. I just thought, like, you know, I'll do that when I get here. So it's probably going to cost me a bit more. But I'll probably tonight. I mean, tonight I've already had something to eat before I got on. I went, you know, got something to eat. So I'll probably just go and get something light later on, and then just come back, try and get a bit of sleep before the morning. Yeah, so should be interesting. So I went another wee wander, mainly to go and get something to eat, and I actually found the way to get on the outside decks, and I always like that when I'm on a boat. You know, obviously being able to get outside for a wee while and get a better view. Now, obviously it's pitch dark here, so not really seen an awful lot, and so I went over, I had a quick look at the kind of fast craft and the lifeboats, and at the end hopefully we won't need them, but yeah, I don't know, I just always find it interesting to go and have a look at that stuff. But I mean, this is definitely a first for me. It's the first time that I've sailed somewhere where you actually can't really see the destination. So yeah, we're sailing from pitch dark with a few lights to pitch dark with no lights. So, because obviously we're doing quite a, you know, a bigger sea crossing than anything I've ever done, certainly, even though it's still a pretty short one, you know, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, so yeah, it was cool to get a good view outside, and I was having a look for that for quite a wee while, but I managed to get outside and have a look at some stuff, yeah, so that was pretty cool. But again, yeah, you can't really see a great deal, so, because obviously it's really dark. So yeah, I done that for a little while, and then I went for something to eat at the coffee bar. As I said, I just get something light, so because I've already had something to eat before I got on the boat, so yeah. And then I had another wee kind of stroll around in the inside, and had a look at some stuff. So yeah, so, and then I went into the shop and had a look at a lot of stuff that, you know, I can't really afford, fancy watches and all that. So yeah, it's all part of the journey, I suppose. So yeah, it's a pretty big network, the DFDS ferry network. It's pretty big. You can see there's a lot of routes there. And then they've got these old kind of black and white maps. Not really old, they're just kind of, that's the kind of style that they've made them in. So yeah, all going good so far. So yeah. So that's me back in my cabin again. So yeah, so went round the ship now and got a quick look at things and went for a quick bite to eat and that. And really, there's not an awful lot more that's going to be happening tonight. So I'm thinking about going to the cinema. They've got the new Aquaman on, which at 8:30, which might be good. I'll maybe do that. Don't know. Otherwise, I'll maybe just watch some stuff in the cabin. I don't know, because I've got my tablet with me with a few films and documentaries and stuff downloaded on it. So yeah, that's it really for this part. So I think I'm gonna make this the end of part 1 of the wee series that I'm doing. So yeah, overall looking pretty good so far. So yeah, we'll see how the night goes and see how the morning goes, and then we'll be in Amsterdam. So yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you'd like to see more of this sort of content, then please do subscribe. Bye folks.